This episode brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can get a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help find you options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
O'Reilly.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Elan's Matchup Maximizer, a podcast presented by Kevin Carlson, where I, Elan Dubrovsky, take a look at next week's NHL schedule to try to determine who are the players and teams we should be targeting in order to maximize our chances of winning our head-to-head matchups. Next week is a biggie, at least for people playing in the Kevin Carlson Ultimate Pager Fantasy League, because it is the last week of the regular season before the fantasy playoffs. Oh my goodness, so many stakes, and of course, everyone listening might have something different they're going for. You may already know you're in the playoffs. You don't even care about next week unless you're going for a bye. You may be fighting for your life. You need to do everything it takes, including dropping like a high-value Dallas Star because they only play Friday, Sunday, or a Calgary Flame that only plays Wednesday, Friday. Like, it's really going to be tough to make those decisions if it's a must-win week. And, you know, sometimes you're borderline. Like, I know my situation feels kind of unique. Like, I'm probably going to make the playoffs. I'm not clinched. I'm probably going to make it even if I lose this week and next week. But it's possible that if I win next week, I could get a bye. But like, should I load up for next week going for the bye, even though I'll be getting players that won't help me in week one of the playoffs if I don't get the bye? Or should I be conservative and just forget about next week and load up on players that will help me for the quarterfinals? If I happen to get the bye, lucky me. So much to consider. But anyways, for this episode, I'm just going to focus on the schedule for next week for people trying to win it. But yeah, definitely, you got to think really hard about what you need to be going for. Maybe take a look at next week's schedule the week after, which would be the first week of the playoffs. If you're in a league that starts then, maybe for you're listening, you're not in leagues not in the cup fold, you might still have a couple weeks left in the regular season. So lots of considerations. But yeah, let's get into it. We've got ourselves a pretty good week for streaming. Like, the busiest days are Tuesday and Saturday, and those are only 22 teams playing on those days. So it's possible you may even have room on like every day of the week, in which case you would just target the teams that play 4 times. Doesn't matter when. Or maybe if you're full on Tuesday and Saturday, then, and by the way, Thursday's also somewhat busy, 18 teams. Probably you can fit someone, maybe not a for sure guarantee at like every single position. But yeah, if you want to just focus on all the light days, then there's 3 teams that play like 4 times and avoiding the Tuesday and Saturday. So those would be Detroit going Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Edmonton going Monday and then Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and then Utah going Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So those are your 3 teams where you're pretty much guaranteed, especially like if you avoid the Thursday, then it would be, Utah and Detroit for the teams to target. I guess let's start in Utah and take a look. If you're new to this show, probably reach out if this is your first Matchup Maximizer. It's probably unlikely that someone is listening to this show for the first time. By the way, thanks for Jeremy covering last week. He had said that he had like scoured this week's schedule, so hopefully the advice he gave helped you get the W this week. Yeah, Utah. Look, it's after the trade deadline. First of all, I'm going to be doing a mega show with Steve Laidlaw is going to be joining me for the second year in a row to break down all of the trades and their fantasy impact. So there's obviously a lot of things different in a lot of situations. So that's something to keep in mind. But I mean, I'm recording this Saturday night. Best I can give you is the current line combinations from the previous game or the latest practice. Over in Utah, they last played yesterday on Friday against Chicago. They lost 4-3, so who knows if they're going to be continuing with what they were rolling, but they were going with Keller, Schmaltz, Cooley on the first line, which they've been doing for a while. Gunther, Hayton, and Alex Kerfoot on the second line, and then a top power play of Gunther, Hayton, Keller, Schmaltz, Mikhail Sergachev. So if you've heard any of those names and one of them is available in your league, that's definitely something to consider. Like almost for sure you're not getting Keller, Sergachev, Gunther, probably not Cooley. Nick Schmaltz, as always, only 27% rostered on Yahoo, so seems like a slam dunk if you can somehow get him. I don't know why he's rostered so low. He's scored in 3 of his last 4 games. He's doing his thing. I know he sometimes goes cold, but ever since coming back from that break, the Four Nations break, Nick Schmaltz has been hot. So definitely grab him. That's an easy one. Easy streamer of the week with 4 off-day games, hot streak, top line, top power play. That's like the best. That's the best you can get. That's the trifecta right there. Okay? You're probably not going to find him. Who else would you go for? I guess, like I said, Alex Kerfoot playing with... sorry. Hayton. The thing is, I'm already starting to consider Hayton as someone that's likely not available. He's run hot lately. He had an assist and 7 shots in that loss to Chicago. So a really good game for him. Brings Hayton to 4 points in his last 4 games. I would definitely go for Hayton next, especially because he's also on that top power play, like I said. And then if he's not available, then I think your next best bet is probably going to be Alex Kerfoot. Feels weird to say, but I mean, if he's playing with Hayton and Gunther, that's pretty good. He hasn't done anything lately. But honestly, aside from the players I've mentioned, no one really has. Maybe like a Sean Dursey or a Michael Kesselring interests you, especially if it's someone that you might hold on past this week and you need D. Dursey hasn't been, especially exciting since returning. Only 2 points in, 7 games. So, kudos to Brian. He was right that Dursey is nothing special. So I don't think you have much reason to add him except for to get that schedule and hope that he can, he gets a decent amount of ice time, I guess. Kesselring did have 2 assists a couple games ago. Take some shots. So I'm going to say Kerfoot is like my dark horse here just because he's playing with Gunther and Hayton. But, no guarantees, of course. Because he's Alex Kerfoot. I don't know if honestly I've looked through these teams. I don't have like anyone super exciting. Like, let's go to Detroit next, who, like I said, also go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. They've changed up their lines. For a long time, we were looking at Marco Kasper on the top line with Raymond and Larkin, which was a really sweet spot for him. He wasn't doing much lately. In their most recent game against Washington, which was yesterday, Marco Kasper played on the second line with DeBrincat and Patrick Kane, so still not a bad spot. So I guess Marco Kasper is interesting, but at the same time, he's been like super quiet lately. He's now pointless in his last 5 games. Of course, just because he's pointless in his last 5 games doesn't mean he's going to be pointless in his next 5 games. So 4 games next week. I think there's a decent chance you're going to get a point or 2, considering he's playing in the top 6. But yeah, a little bit disappointing. I streamed him in a couple weeks ago, and it's like basically ever since he got his last point. After that, I got him. So I just enjoyed those 5 games of nothing, and then I finally dropped him today. So yeah, of course, now maybe that is a good hint that he's going to go off next week. So yeah, you got to look at a Marco Kasper. The guy playing on the top line in the last game against Washington was Elmer Soderblom. Thing is, Detroit got creamed by Washington 5-2. So probably you're going to want to check GameDayTweets.com and see when the next time Detroit practices, which will probably be Monday, I'd imagine, maybe Sunday. I don't know how they decide that, but get the latest practice lines, see if they changed things up, and maybe maybe there'll be some surprise. Like, who would it even be? Like, sure, if you see maybe Tarasenko is now with Raymond and Larkin, that would be interesting. Maybe he's available to you. There's Jonathan Berggren, JT Compher. Like, there's people that could potentially get in a good spot. But I don't know. I'm not really interested in any of them. There's no one really on Detroit that's going to be available to you that is doing much of anything lately. Maybe if you need D, similar to the Dursey and Kesselring, you can take a look at a Simon Edvinsson, who had a couple good games recently. But yeah, it's like, he gets a little bit of peripherals, a shot here and there, but it's honestly nothing that I would be expecting to get anything from. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't really have anyone from Detroit for you either. Then I mentioned the Oilers play 4 times, and they do play on that Thursday, but it's not that busy, so you might be able to stream an Oiler. They are playing today. That game hasn't started yet against Dallas. Mikko Rantanen in Dallas, I'd be definitely worried as someone with Skinner. I hope that he does okay. If you're listening to this, you'll know how badly Skinner got burned by this totally stacked Dallas team. team. So who are we looking at on Edmonton? Well, I'll tell you the lines going into today's game, and who knows if they'll last through the game and to next week. But they were practicing with McDavid, Hyman, RNH on the top line, leaving Arvidsson and Podkolzin back with Draisaitl. So look, that's a line that's been around for a lot of the season, and as amazing as Draisaitl has been, it hasn't led to Arvidsson or Podkolzin doing too much. So, like, if you can get 4 games, I feel like it's my duty to say, like, you probably would expect someone playing with Draisaitl to get some points, but I think the lines could change. Arvidsson has been such a letdown, so he's a guy I'm going to mention as, like, maybe you go for him, but unlikely to provide much value. So, again, I don't really see anyone jumping off the page, unfortunately. I wish I did. You know what? John Klingberg had a couple good games. Like, he had a 2-assist game. And then he had like a 4-shot game, a 3-shot game. But now Klingberg's injured, so I can't even recommend John Klingberg. What is this injury? Anyways, undisclosed, will not play on Saturday. Miss a second straight game. Man, I want to give you something. I'm excited to see what Jake Wallman does in his new spot on the Oilers. He's playing on the top pairing with Darnell Nurse. I wonder who's going to get the power play. I assume it's going to be Bouchard. Wouldn't it be interesting if they gave Wallman a shot? But yeah, I got nothing for you here as well. So, great episode so far, right? Look, I can only call it like I see it. I'm going to take a break now. When I come back, I'll look at the other teams playing 4 times because, like I said, maybe you will be able to fit a Tuesday and a Saturday. Let's see if we could find something good here. All right, so we'll be right back. It might not feel like it, but spring is right around the corner. Know how you can tell? Golfers are hitting the links, and we have some tournaments to talk about. And if you want to do more than just talk, put your money where your mouth is. Get in on all the tee to green action with DraftKings Sportsbook. From Thursday's opening round through the closing round Sunday, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with tournament props, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. If you've never bet on golf before, it's easier than you think. Just pick something simple, like a golfer to win the tourney, and make your pick. It's that easy. I'm looking at the odds now for the tournament. I do not know any of these people, but it looks like Scotty Scheffler is the favorite. So do you think Scotty Scheffler is going to win? Or let's see, who has the highest odds? You know who has really long odds? Patrick Rogers. He must be a real nobody, but maybe a nobody's won golf tournament. You know, I don't even know, but if you think Patrick Rogers is going to win this golf tournament, that maybe take a look at DraftKings Sportsbook. By the way, here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ice.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states. Listeners, are you looking for a shortcut to better auto insurance for you? Something that takes all the research off your plate. Something that's easy. Something that matches you at lower rates. Something genius. That's where NerdWallet comes in. These nerds have already done the work for you. Just answer a few questions and ta-da, you'll be matched with top insurance providers in your area. Find the right rate for you today at nerdwallet.com. After all, using NerdWallet is more than just smart, it's genius. Not all applicants will qualify for the lowest monthly payments. NerdWallet Insurance Services, Inc. CA resident license number OK92033.
All right, Elan Matchup Maximizer. We've gone through the 3 teams that are going to give you for sure 4 off-day games, but let's take a look at the teams that play 4 times this week, and you'll have to check and see if you can fit their Tuesday and or Saturday games. Let's start with the Anaheim Ducks. They go Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So if you can fit that Tuesday, you're getting 4 games. Could be good. The Ducks have been scoring some goals lately. They just lost 4-3 to St. Louis. Before that, they lost 3-2 to Vancouver. Before that, they scored 6 goals against Edmonton, 3 goals against Chicago. So look, it's not like gangbusters, but they've been getting some points here. You're obviously not going to be able to grab Frank Vetrano if you're in a serious league. He's been great. Jackson Lacombe actually was dropped for like a second in like a couple division, and I need D, so clearly I blew it not grabbing him, but he got quickly snagged, and he's continued his fantastic hot streak. Aside from that, you can get a lot of people. I see Troy Terry is only 24% rostered on Yahoo. You're not going to get him in Cupful, but Terry, yeah, I guess he did go cold he had 3 pointless games, but then he made up for it. 2 assists versus St. Louis in the last game. I would definitely grab Troy Terry if you can fit him. Mason McTavish. I'm not even telling you the lines. Should I tell the lines? I just feel like these are all good players. They're all getting similar ice time. Mason McTavish is on a nice run. 4 points in his last 3 games. I would definitely grab Mason McTavish for this run if you can get him. Leo Carlson he was running hot. Like, he had a stretch of 4 goals in 4 games. Last couple of games, nothing. Carlson's been playing on a line with Trevor Zegras and Alex Killorn. I'm the one who jinxed Leo Carlson because I grabbed Trevor Zegras when he came back from his suspension, so he's pointless in his last 2. Ryan Downey said that he read that Zegras played well, or he saw that Zegras played well, even though he had a cardio session on Friday. So and by the way, this could also be a Sunday savior. Any of these Anaheim guys, they play 4 times and they're playing tomorrow against the Islanders. So maybe, Trevor Zegras, he used to be good. Like, it's pretty wild how far he's fallen. Right now, he's only 6% rostered on Yahoo. But Zegras is they're pretty much splitting the power play, so we can't really say top power play, but getting half the power play time. Zegras is on this line with Leo Carlson and Killorn. Like, it's a decent line. So he could be someone to grab, but definitely I would prefer Leo Carlson. If I had to choose between the two, Cutter Gauthier had 2 really good games. He had a 3-assist game against Edmonton, had an assist against Vancouver. Nothing in the loss to St. Louis. Gauthier has been playing on a line with Colangelo and McTavish. By the way, the same Colangelo, he's looking good. He's just kind of joined the NHL recently. Goals in 3 straight. Can he keep it up? Look, if you're playing with McTavish and Gauthier, it's not too bad. That's a really fun young line. Anaheim, they just look like they're going to be good soon, don't you think? They just cleared out, what's that name of that guy? Dumoulin. So now we're going to see Zellweger probably for the rest of the season. I don't know if that's necessarily good for his fantasy value now, but you look at this lineup, there's a lot of good young players here that just, we expect them to be good young players, but if they all turn out, if Leo Carlson, Cutter Gauthier, Colangelo, and then at the next level, Zegras is still not that old. I don't know. Then obviously Zellweger, Minchukov. I'm excited about this team. Dostal. Just let's go already. I'm kind of impatient here. But yeah, lots of people to stream next week. It's just who's going to hit? I don't know. We've got 3 kind of interesting lines. To recap, Terry, Vetrano, Ryan Strome. I didn't even mention Ryan Strome. He's been okay lately also. He also pointless in his last couple games, but before that he had a run of 3 games that were all really good, including a 3-point game against Vancouver. Ryan Strome could be interesting. Then McTavish with Colangelo and Gauthier, and then Zegras, Carlson, and Killorn. It's kind of, if you squint, it looks like a decent top 9. And then, like I said, 2 even power plays, basically all those forwards I just told you, and then jumbled up, and then Jackson Lacombe on one of the power plays and Zellweger on the other one in that last game against St. Louis. So who do I recommend? I guess I told you, right? Terry, then McTavish, then Leo Carlson, then Cutter Gauthier, then Ryan Strome, then Trevor Zegras. Maybe Zegras over Ryan Strome. Okay? All right, so that's Anaheim. Did that help? I told you a bunch of names. I told you a bunch of names of players in the NHL. Okay. Colorado Avalanche next. They play on Monday, Tuesday, and then Friday, Sunday. So not too shabby. I like getting 3 games by Friday. Again, you have to make sure you could actually fit that Tuesday game. Looks like the game today, Colorado against Toronto, is over. The Avs won 7-4. A lot of points to go around as per usual. All of our big guns, McKinnon had a couple goals. Cale Makar had an assist. Natchez, you're not getting any of these guys. Natchez only had an assist, actually. Who got all these points in this game? Newly acquired Brock Nelson had an assist. That's pretty fun to see him in the picture. You're not going to get any of these people. You're probably not going to get Nichushkin. Nichushkin had himself 3 goals and an assist. Big game for Valerie Nichushkin. Nichushkin was playing on a line, by the way, with Drouin and Nelson. So Jonathan Drouin scored a goal. Let's recap these lines. Okay, so we've got McKinnon, Lehkonen, Natchez, and then Nelson centering Nichushkin and Jonathan Drouin. So if you get any of these people, I want it. Okay, top power play generally is ideal. I'm seeing in this game there was one power play rolling with McKinnon, Drouin, Lehkonen, Natchez as the forwards, and then another one with the same people, but except Nichushkin was there instead of Lehkonen. So that's very good if you have Nichushkin, obviously, to see him back on the top power play, and obviously he just had this big game. All these people I've mentioned are highly rostered except for Drouin, only 21% rostered on Yahoo. So I think that's a slam dunk streamer of the week, no doubt about it. Especially if you can fit the Tuesday. The thing is, like, in a lot of serious leagues, you're probably not going to see Jonathan Drouin. I shouldn't say serious, but like deeper leagues. If you're in a super shallow league, then and Drouin may be a streamer level guy, then yeah, this is the week to stream in Jonathan Drouin if he's on the top power play and on this line with Nichushkin and Brock Nelson. That's really good. Okay, again, though, here's where it gets tough. If you can't get Drouin, if we have to go lower, like, you've got a great top six. It's very exciting with Nelson in the picture. After that, there's nothing. Like, well, who am I going to... Like, I want to help you. Help me help you. Like, Charlie Coyle's in the picture now. That's fun. He had an assist. Playing with Ross Colton and Kiviranta. Kiviranta scored again. It's not going to happen a lot. So it's really just... What can I tell you here? You know, Josh Manson has been back for a couple games since his injury, had an assist in each game, not huge minutes, but if you need a defenseman, I was like mentioning before, a Dursey or a Kesslering, I think you can do worse than Manson, like obviously assuming Taves isn't available. I think Manson is your next best guy. There was a time when Girard was an interesting fantasy person. That feels like a million years ago. So yeah, kind of like Trevor Zegras. Maybe around the same time maybe when Zegras was valuable, so was Girard. I would like to go check that out. But yeah, Josh Manson sometimes gets the periffs. He had 2 hits and a block today, 3 shots. Not bad. Okay, maybe. Let's go to the next team here. We've got the Florida Panthers playing a classic Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. But again, like I said, you may be able to fit the Tuesday and the Saturday, in which case you might be able to fit 4 games, in which case you take a look at the Panthers. Right away, by the way, I see a back-to-back for the Panthers. They just got a shutout from Vitek Vanacek in his first game with his new team over the Bruins. So come next weekend, Florida plays Montreal and then the Islanders. I think those are 2 very shutoutable games. So I would definitely take a look at Vitek Vanacek as a stream when it gets to that point. Maybe there's more to this guy. He was on a kind of a crappy New Jersey team, and now he's on a crappy like San Jose team. We once thought he was decent-ish. Didn't we, in Washington? I do have a vague memory of Vanacek looking good in Washington. So maybe there's a future here. He's going to be a pending UFA. So Bobrovsky's the clear starter in Florida. I am interested to see how Vanacek does in his Panthers games, finally like on a really good team for the rest of this season to try to earn himself that next contract. Maybe I'm also biased. I have him in the Kevin Karlsson Dynasty League. Who are we streaming on the Panthers? Okay, so in this win that I just mentioned, which, by the way, was against the Sabres, not the Bruins. My mistake. Bruins had their own shutout. They shut out the Lightning 4-0. So I guess I got confused with those 2 4-0 games. But okay, so what was Florida doing in this game? They were rolling Barkov, Reinhart, Verhaeghe. I did see Carter Verhaeghe was dropped in a couple division, which was pretty surprising to see. But I guess, yeah, people are fighting for their lives here. He scored a goal. That person who dropped Verhaeghe is probably like, what was I thinking? Scored a goal, 5 shots. Good game. He was cold for a while. Understandable. I wouldn't drop Carter Verhaeghe. If somehow he's been dropped in your league, go get him. He's 91% rostered on Yahoo, though, so it's probably unlikely you saw Verhaeghe dropped in your league that you're listening to this for. After that, Kachuk is out. They've got Brad Marchand now, but he's out for a while. So Sam Bennett kind of by himself, playing with Evan Rodriguez and Mackie Samoskevich. Samoskevich, though, looking good lately. He had a 3-game point streak. And then, yeah, today no points, only 1 shot, but 3 hits, so that's good. 1 block. The game before he had 7 shots. So maybe there's something to be found here with Mackie Samoskevich. I know he's a prospect that people like. If he's playing on the second line, maybe there's something for you. But yeah, again, it's like, I'm not so excited. I'll take a second liner on Boston. By the way, interesting thing, Brian and I talked a lot about how Seth Jones is probably going to be the top power play guy on Florida, and it hasn't been the case. Ekblad has held that spot, and they're winning games, so maybe we were wrong about that, or maybe it's just going to take some time, and eventually Seth Jones will get a shot there. Worth mentioning, pointless in 3 games, Seth Jones as a new Florida Panther. Like I said, the team's winning. They've won 2-1, 3-0, and 4-0. So they're doing just fine. They don't even need that many goals, considering they've only let in 1 goal in 3 games. But interesting thing to point out. Who am I recommending on Florida? I don't know. I don't have anyone. look, if you need D again, like I'll just throw it out there. Gustav Forsling has been pretty cold lately, and by pretty I mean very, but he's good for periffs. He plays a lot of minutes. If Florida plays 4 games, you can fit 4 games. You need D maybe for the future anyways. I wouldn't be surprised if Gustav Forsling does better than, like, he's pointless in his last 5. I'm thinking his next 5, he's going to get 1 or 2 points. That's generally been what he's been capable of. So maybe someone to look at. But yeah, I think it's a swing and the miss here with the Florida Panthers. We've got the Rangers playing 4 times. I grabbed Chris Kreider out of free agency in one of my leagues. He's really fallen. 69% rostered on Yahoo. Maybe he's available to you. He finally returned from his injury and did nothing in the 4-3 loss to Ottawa today. 1 shot, 4 hits. So you're in a bankers league. That's good. We'll see if the Rangers change up their lines. If not, what they were rolling with against Ottawa was Trocheck, Panarin, Lafreniere, then Zibanejad, Miller, and Cooley, and then Kreider with Sam Carrick and Juuso Parsons. That's not great for Chris Kreider, by the way. Also, the top power plays, Zibanejad, Miller, Trocheck, Panarin. I'm starting to see why Kreider was available to me. If he's going to be third line, second power play, maybe I was kind of overrating what I was going to get from this guy when I used some fab to grab him. Obviously, Kreider has had a history of being a huge performer, and he was on a nice little hot streak before his injury. But yeah, not great to play. But hey, Rangers lost. They're actually playing tomorrow on Sunday, so this could potentially be a Sunday savior. Also get the Sunday game, then get the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. So I don't know. Can you grab Chris Kreider if he's out there? Probably he's not out there. Maybe Lafreniere is out there. Probably not, but he has 3 points in his last 4 games, starting to get going a little bit. We love Will Cooley over here. If you can get Will Cooley, that's a slam dunk. Now that he's playing with JT Miller and Zibanejad, wow, that's perfect deployment for you. For a streamer, probably even a hold. So definitely go grab Will Cooley. If you can get him, I'll count him as my slam dunk streamer of the week. Who did I say else was that? Drouin? I feel like they're similar. They're probably rostered in a similar number of divisions or leagues. And yeah, both of them I think are going to very likely do well for you. So yeah, there's that. And then, okay, who else do we recommend here? I've told you the top 6. And yeah, I'm not going to recommend one of these bottom 6ers playing with Kreider. I'm not going to recommend a defenseman. Well, yeah, what am I talking about? Zach Jones has been on the top power play. So of course, yeah, with Fox out, Jones has been getting that spot. Not a lot of even strength time. No points today, but he did have an assist in each of his previous 2 games. Maybe you can get something out of Zach Jones. Maybe worth a shot. Keandre Miller probably is someone I might go with instead, just because he's playing so many minutes now with Fox out. He has 3 points in his last 4 games. Not top power play, but so much even strength time. 2 teams do score points at even strength. So I think at this point, I'd rather take 10 more minutes a game from Keandre Miller if I had to pick a defenseman on the Rangers. Okay, who else plays 4 times? We only got a couple teams left here. We got the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa has acquired a couple new players, right? They have Dylan Cousins and they have Zetterlund in the picture. Cousins played today in the 4-3 win over the Rangers, had an assist, a shot, and 9 hits. Are you kidding me? In a Bangers League, that's insane. He's only 28% rostered. Dylan Cousins, maybe you can get him. Like, if you can get him, I'd definitely grab him. As far as what line he was on, Cousins was playing with Batherson and David Perron. Though I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Zetterlund takes that Perron spot next week, and it's Cousins, Batherson, and Zetterlund to go along with Giroux, Kachuk, and Stützle. That's not bad, honestly. And then top power play, Cousins wasn't there, but for a stream on a 4-game week, I think that could be pretty good. And then same with Fabian Zetterlund. He wasn't doing so great on San Jose compared to the end of last season, but it's a new situation, and I'd be curious to see how Zetterlund shows up, whatever that saying is. You know me, I like Shane Pinto, by the way. He had 3 goals in 2 games, a couple games ago. Now he's been quiet for a couple games. Generally I don't recommend bottom 6ers on this show, but I think Shane Pinto is an exception. If he was available for a 4-game week and I could fit all 4 games, I would definitely consider him, even if he's playing with Ridley Gregg and Michael Amadio. I like Shane Pinto. One day, he's like the Lundell. I think one day he's going to be really good. The Lundell, come on. He's been really cold. I didn't even mention him when I was talking about Florida guys. That's how quiet Lundell has been. I got a couple more teams here playing 4 times. We've got Vancouver going Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Saturday, Sunday. So again, only if you can actually fit the Tuesday and the Saturday. Quinn Hughes is injured again, which is of course not ideal. He's missed the last couple of games. Vancouver did win those games though. Surprisingly, they beat Anaheim 3-2 and Minnesota 3-1. I believe Elias Pettersson scored a goal. What? He's capable of doing that, apparently. So that's good to see. Which there's just like no one doing well on Vancouver lately. I guess the line Pedersen was playing on the line with Garland and Dakota Joshua. So yeah, I guess you can go for Garland. Hope for something. He's pointless in 3. Then you have Hedel with Lekkerimäki and Drew O'Connor. So Lekkerimäki back in the picture. They won that game, so I guess maybe they'll keep things the same. Hedel pointless in his last couple of games. I'm starting to realize my prediction of him having a really strong second half of the season. I've kind of gone off of that. I've dropped him in the couple where I added him for a bit. Then you have Besser, who wasn't traded, with DeBrusk and Pew Suter. I don't know. Maybe you can grab DeBrusk. DeBrusk is rostered in 35% of leagues. Do you want to? I don't know. I'll be honest. Vancouver's not like so exciting right now. Plus, it's like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you have to wait all the way till Saturday. Maybe wait till the Saturday, Sunday, and then see if there's a Canuck that's worth grabbing. I'm not really excited about any of these guys. And then, we end with the Vegas Golden Knights. They play on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, I guess an obvious name I have to throw at you right now has got to be Tanner Pearson, right? He's been playing on the top line with Stone and Eichel. I generally don't expect Tanner Pearson to do much in fantasy. It's not like 5-6 years ago now when he was on that 70s line on LA. But Pearson has 2 straight goal and assist games. So you can't argue with it, right? Plus he's a Sunday savior. He's playing tomorrow. I feel like you kind of have to grab Tanner Pearson if you're listening to this and you have room to fit those 4 games next week and you need someone to help you on the Sunday game to try to win this matchup. If you've got 2 straight 2-point games where he's had also 3 shots and 6 shots in those games, and if you're playing on the top line with Eichel and Stone, you got to do it. This guy is 0% rostered in Yahoo. But I think he's going to be one of my top streamers of the week. The thing is, with a stream like this, is like Vegas could change the lines, right? And then like, who knows? All bets are off. But they've won 4 games in a row. They won like 4-0 against Pittsburgh, so maybe they're not rushing to change things up anytime soon, but you never know. If you're not going to get a top line Tanner Pearson, I guess the next line is Hurdle, Dorofeyev, and Brandon Saad. And look, like Brandon Saad also has a third wheel, not doing too shabby lately, not multi-point games, but he has a point in each of his last couple of games, a goal against the Penguins. Yeah, it was only on 2 shots, so he won't be able to keep that up, but maybe he'll score another goal. I mean, by the way, Dorofeyev only 31% rostered. I would definitely go Dorofeyev over all these guys because he's playing on this line with Hurdle and also on the top power play with Eichel, Stone, Hurdle, and Noah Hannafin. I haven't mentioned Noah Hannafin. I assume at this point everyone's got Noah Hannafin. He's 76% rostered. He's been a slam dunk ever since Theodore went down. Very frustrating as the person with Theodore who lost him in a non-NHL game and now haven't won a matchup since, but I'm not bitter, and I could have added Hannafin and didn't, so cool. Those should be my points. But I think Saad and Tanner Pearson might be decent streams if you're in a deep enough league. They're both available in my couple division. I don't know if I'm going to make those moves because, again, I'm not sure like how much I want to go all in on just next week, and I'll be surprised if Tanner Pearson holds top line like for many weeks, but maybe. I don't know. All right, what else can I throw at you here? I want to just keep going for a little bit, just because I'm having a good time here. I guess let me throw you one more team that doesn't play 4 times. They play 3 times, but they're 3 off-day games. So if you are full on the Tuesday and the Saturday, then maybe you want to take a look at the Seattle Kraken, especially if you can just wait and grab someone on Wednesday. Seattle plays Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So a nice little end of the week schedule for you with Seattle. And you know the deal with Seattle. They have most of the people available most of the time. We've lost a couple. Bjorkstrand, Gourde, they're out of the picture. Their lines against Philadelphia was a 4-1 win. They ran with Beniers, Kakko, Schwartz. I'm going to stop right there. Beniers. I like Beniers. He had a good game today. 1 goal, 1 assist. He was quiet before that. I think come Wednesday, if you could fit 3 games, like even one of these teams that play 4 times like I talked about, let's say you go with a Sens stream who play Monday, Tuesday, or Colorado go Monday, Tuesday. Let's say you grabbed whoever on Ottawa, Shane Pinto, like I said, and then let's say he does okay, and then you're actually full on Saturday. You could like get the Monday, Tuesday from Pinto, then switch over, get Beniers for Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. That's 5 games from this spot. That's not too shabby. You have to use 2 moves to do it, but maybe one of them you use this week to get that Pinto ad or Zetterlund or whoever. I don't know. I like Beniers. We'll see. I guess like if we're looking at people who are hotter, like Shane Wright, like we brought up on the last show, was on a little bit of a hot run. He's now pointless in his last 2 games. This is how Seattle goes, right? They take turns. They alternate who's allowed to be hot at a time. You can't have like the same person actually on a hot streak on Seattle for like many weeks in a row. They just don't roll that way. Nice to see Montour, by the way, going off now. He's not available in most leagues, but he was having a rough stretch. But now 3 goals in his last 4 games. 3 goals, 1 assist in 4 games. 5 shots today in the win over Philly. But yeah, you know Seattle. Like, what am I supposed to tell you here? Like, Kakko maybe, Schwartz maybe, Chandler Stevenson maybe, Tolvanen maybe. I'm going to say the one I like the best is Matty Beniers of the people that might be available to you. Only 11% rostered on Yahoo. Then I guess you got to go, you got to go Shane Wright because I feel like because he was hot for a while. But I'm not going to go. I'm going to say maybe Jaden Schwartz next because he's playing with my guy, Matty Beniers. So I guess on the top power play today, they rolled Beniers, Kakko, Wright, and Stevenson. So maybe Kakko? Probably wasting too much time here. If you need D also, Adam Larson, 3-game point streak. Definitely not going to keep that up. His perfs haven't been what they used to be. Nice that he's getting some points, but he's always a decent, like, solid floor guy, or at least he has been in the past. I guess he hasn't been as much this year. All right. This has been a long one, but I've had a good time. Hopefully you've enjoyed this show, the last matchup maximizer of the regular season. Best of luck. Hopefully you make your playoffs. If you don't make your playoffs, you might make your consolation playoffs in Kakupful. That matters. Your final ranking is going to determine your promotion relegation. If you're in a non-Kakupful league with your friends, you can still win the consolation playoffs. You can have fun. You can take the free agents that the people in the championship playoffs are going for and piss them off and try to show. You could also do the brag of like, oh, I had more points than all the teams in the championship playoffs. So I guess we know who the real champion is. I'm sure you can turn it and make it into something fun for yourself. So enjoy the end of the fantasy season. It goes by quick, and then we're going to miss it. So thanks for listening. I'll be back tomorrow, like I said, with Steve Laidlaw for the mega show where we're going to break down not all the trades, a lot of the trades, all the ones that we think are important to cover. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you're subscribed. Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks to the patrons for all your support, and I will talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
No offense, but your brain is a terrible place to keep your big idea. It belongs in the world, but you know that already. You have a calling, a voice that says, this is what I'm meant to do. Create the website your big idea deserves with Wix. Make it your own with top-to-bottom customization, AI to help realize your vision, and built-in business tools to turn your daydream into your dream job. Wix supports every stage of the business journey except one. Your decision to begin. Ready? Go to Wix.com.
In the Champions League knockout phase, every decisive moment gives you goosebumps.
I get those goosebumps every time. No, would you believe this?
The UEFA Champions League Round of 16. Stream every match live exclusively on Paramount+.
With an advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and trusted partnership, Comcast Business powers more businesses than anyone. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Call or visit ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
Feeling drained, foggy, or just not yourself? These may be the effects of low testosterone levels. Henry Meds has you covered. Our testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, is available in pills, injectable, or daily creams. Many patients report improvements in energy, mood, and focus. Though individual results may vary, TRT may support sexual function for some patients. Go to henrymeds.com/TRT to consult a healthcare provider to see if TRT is right for you. Take the first step in feeling your best again. henrymeds.com/TRT.
O'Reilly.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.